Chapter 25. The Legend of Bramhakamandalu Tirtha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Devas ask Brishandi, O Guru, please tell us the joy-giving stotra by which Devas and Munis extolled the great river to please Brahmadeva. Brishandi narrated, when the Devas and Munis were unable to purify Brahmadeva with prowess of numerous tirthas, all the Devas mused. They joined their palms in reverence and extolled the Turya Tirtha with great devotion in the following manner. The Devas and Munis said, to the one who is the origin of all tirthas, to the one who is uncontaminated despite impurities among the three rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, and who is the soul of all tirthas, who is extremely proficient in destroying all sins, to such an absolute Turya Tirtha, we bow to you. From whom the rivers like Ganga originate, to the one who is the Atma of all tirthas, to the one who assumes the form of flowing water and drives them, to that Turya Tirtha, we bow to you. It has been described in the Puranas as the destroyer of the sins of Brahmadeva and reside in his kamandalu. It is not possible to comprehend it. It remains in the numerous tirthas in the form of their Atma, that is, in the form of the sin-destroying waters. To such a tirtha that has assumed a corporeal form, we bow to you. If the Saviour of all, Vidhata, is sinful, then the world will be destroyed. Hence, O merciful one, please manifest. O form of Ganga, we bow to you. O form of Godavari, we bow to you. O form of Prayag and Narmada, to the one residing in Kalindi, we bow to you. O form of Krishna, O Devanadi, who resides in Kakudamati, O Paroshnike, O form of Veni, O Pushkara, O Tapi Prabhasa. Sarva Tirtha, we bow to you with reverence. O form of Godavari, to the one who resides in the Kshipra and Sindhu river on earth. O form of Kaveri, O form of Sharayu, we bow to you. O Purna river, all these rivers are in the kamandalu. To the one whose Atma is distributed amongst the 3.5 koti tirthas, we bow to you again and again. We bow to you who resides in the Mayura Kshetra and is the most supreme amongst the innumerable tirthas. We bow to you who resides in the oceans, rivers and ponds and wells. We bow to the waters that are present in all the clouds and rays of the sun. You are the sparkling form of water established in all the animate and inanimate creations. Cast a merciful glance on us and protect us. Please show us your true form. Brishandi continued the narration. When the Devas and Munis extolled the Turya Tirtha, it manifested before them in the form of brilliantly sparkling water tattva. Seeing it, the Devas and Rishis bowed with respect. The Mahatirtha said to them joyously, O Devas and Munis, ask for a boon. I shall grant it. This stotra that you have composed will bestow merits and will enhance the love of devotees for me. It will have the powers to bestow enjoyments and liberation. There is no doubt about it. It will bestow rewards to the one who bathes in my waters and will be instantly sin-destroying for the one who reads or listens to it. Hearing this, the Devas and Rishis became ecstatic, and with palms joined in reverence, they said humbly, O Mahatirtha, if you are pleased with us, then please absolve Brahmadeva of his sins and purify him and permanently reside in his kamandalu. By your grace, you will be acclaimed as Sarva Tirtha and Bramhakamandalu. Bless us with this boon. The Tirtha said Tatastu and granted all their wishes. I have already narrated the legend. The Deva said, O Guru, we have listened to the doubt-clarifying narration. Despite listening to the nectar story, we are not satiated. O Yogiraj, you have described the glory of the Tirtha. Please narrate the legends of those who are blessed with marvelous siddhis at the Tirthas. Brishandi replied, in ancient times, there was a dull-witted Brahmin lad belonging to the Bharadwaj lineage. He was illiterate and did not perform rites, karmas like Sandhya Vandana and acquiring of knowledge of Shastras. His parents took him to Brahmadeva, who was residing at the source of Bramhakamandalu, with great expectations. They bathed in the river and on its banks performed the puja of Brahmadeva and served him with devotion. While bathing in the waters, their son was blessed with knowledge, and he started chanting shlokas of the Vedas fluently. His ecstatic parents took their son home. In the end, due to his merits, they all attained liberation. In this manner, there have been innumerable devotees who have been blessed with siddhis after bathing in the holy waters, knowingly or unknowingly, and by the darshan of Brahmadeva. I shall narrate another historical tale. A king in the lineage of the Surya dynasty named Surata ruled the province of Malwa. He ruled the kingdom righteously with the help of his ministers. After passage of a considerable period of time, he was attacked by the king of Vidarbha, who wanted to conquer the world. He retaliated with his entire might, yet he was defeated and fled from the kingdom. He sought the help of the neighboring kings and waged a war, but was defeated again. He approached some Brahmins and on their advice went to Kshetra. He bathed in the Madhyameshwara Tirtha and performed the puja of Shiva. He took the blessing of the Lord and once again with his army attacked the king of Vidarbha and reclaimed his kingdom. As he had bathed in Kshetra, he attained liberation in the end. In this manner, numerous people have attained siddhis due to the deeds they performed knowingly or unknowingly. O wise ones, I shall narrate one more holy legend. A devout Brahmin belonging to Gautama lineage was learned but was unable to get the deserved recognition. He got himself initiated and performed numerous yajna karmas. This Brahmin would perform karmas observing the appropriate rituals as ordained by the Vedas, yet he would face obstacles every time. The other Brahmins realized that this was due to grave sins he had committed in his previous births. Regretting thus, he eventually went on a pilgrimage to all the Tirthas. As a last resort, he decided to bathe in the Tirthas with faith and devotion. He performed the puja of Rishikesha, paid obeisance, and then returned home. The other Brahmins realized that he was able to conclude all his ritualistically performed karmas successfully and attain success in all deeds. Due to merits earned by performing the yatra of the Tirthas, he attained liberation in the end. O superior devas, those devotees who visited the Tirthas knowingly or unknowingly are blessed with success. It is impossible for me or any other narrator to describe them all. O devas, listen to one more historic tale. A sinful Chandal person of the lowest caste lived in Dandakaranya. He would waylay Brahmins and other people in the forest as a means of livelihood. He would rape lonely women. That indulgent Chandala committed many sins. One day he saw a wealthy trader. He took some weapons and chased him. While pursuing him, the Chandal saw the Bramhakamandalu. He did not touch the waters of the holy river. At a distance of a yojana from the river, he killed the trader. He robbed his wealth and returned home. He continued to live sinfully. When he died, the Yamadutas battered him and took him to Yamloka. Yama, while proclaiming his verdict, asked his Dutas to release him despite him being a grave sinner. While chasing the trader, he had taken the darshan of Saraswati Tirtha, which bestows merits and destroys all sins. O loyal Dutas, grant him rebirth as a human and send him to earth. Depending on his deeds, whether good or bad in the next birth, I shall pronounce my judgment. O superior devas, he was reborn as a fisherman in the state of Bengal. In this manner, by the darshan of Tirtha, he was redeemed. I shall describe the glory of the Tirtha by narrating a legend in which one is blessed with siddhis just by being touched by a mere drop of water from the Tirtha of the Kshetra. A hunter lived in a certain province. He used to regularly commit crimes such as killing of Brahmins and other sinful deeds with expertise. Once he spotted a wealthy person. He unsheathed his sword and chased him. The person panicked, ran for his life. The hunter pursued him. Fortunately, they encountered the river Ganga, which had emerged from the Bramhakamandalu. The man crossed the river and ran away. However, the hunter carried in the sword, crossed the river and fell, exhausted, at the banks of the river. He had been touched by the waters of the river while crossing it. His victim escaped and reached his home. With the passage of time, the wild man died. The Dutas of Yama took him to Yama. Seeing him, Yama affectionately said to his Dutas, "This man is free of sins and is pure. While in pursuit, this man had taken the darshan of the river and was touched by the waters of the river. By the darshan, all the sins of his present birth were washed away, and by the touch of the waters, all the sins of his previous births were washed away. He is deserving of torture for sins committed thereafter, yet it is not appropriate to torture him. O Dutas, the one who has taken the darshan of the Bramhakamandalu need not fear torture. Hence, he was reborn as a Brahmin in Kashmir. In this manner, several people have been absolved of sins by the touch or darshan of the holy waters emanating from the Bramhakamandalu. Now I shall narrate an ancient legend. A Shudra named Shama lived in the province of Vanga. He was addicted to a lavish, indulgent lifestyle. To eke out a living, he would steal in the city and in the forest. He would carry weapons and would kill at an opportune time. He was fond of alcohol and meat. One day he saw a group of wealthy tradesmen in the forest. He chased them and mingled in the group. All of them reached Dandakaranya. The thief accompanied them for a haste at an opportune moment. There was intense heat and all of them were thirsty. Looking for water, they reached the banks of the Bramhakamandalu river. They drank its water and returned to the village. At night, the thief killed them all in their sleep. They all ascended to Swarga and stayed at Indrapuri due to merits of having consumed the water of Bramhakamandalu. O Devas, since they had sipped the waters of Bramhakamandalu river, they were blessed with stay at Indraloka. After some time, when the thief died, Yamadutas took him and presented him to Yama. Yamaraja said, despite being wicked and sinful, this man had taken the darshan of the Saraswati Tirtha. This has rendered him meritorious. He had taken her darshan, consumed her waters, and had been touched by the waters. And hence, he has earned 3 types of punyas. I shall explain why. The sins of the birth were washed away with the darshan. The sins of his previous birth were washed away by the touch of the waters. By drinking the water, he earned enough merits to attain the position of Indra. Therefore, he was completely cleansed internally and externally. Hence, he can be referred to as a fortunate and virtuous person. Therefore, O Dutas, take him to Mahendra. He will certainly enjoy his rewards in Indraloka. He will be reborn on earth. There's no doubt about it. The Dutas bowed to Yama and obeyed his orders and took him to Indraloka. In this manner, numerous people have acquired siddhis. It is impossible to describe all of them even if I narrate for 100 years. I shall narrate a legend which describes the rewards that one acquires on bathing in the holy waters. In the state of Bengal, there lived a thief named Dhanapriya. He enjoyed committing sins. He had poisoned his mother and father for satisfying his greed. He would bow to Brahmins, pretend to revere them, and then poison them. He appeared a saint, but had a wicked intent. As a result, people were obsessed with him. It was after a considerable time that the true nature of Dhanapriya was brought to the notice of the king. He was arrested by the king's men, and all his possessions were seized. The king ruled justly. He banished Dhanapriya and banned him from entering his kingdom. The wild one, along with his family, went to Dandakaranya and settled in a nice town. He continued the same sinful and indulgent lifestyle. One day, he met a wealthy traveler. Dhanapriya pursued him for his wealth. He tried to entice him by pretending to be a saintly person. The Saraswati Tirtha was on their way. The trader bathed in it. The sinner too followed him. On the next day, he poisoned the trader and killed him. Due to the merits of bathing in the Tirtha, the traveler attained final emancipation via the Shuklagati. With the passage of time, Dhanapriya too died of an illness at home. He too attained liberation. O Devas, as he had bathed in the holy waters of Kamandalu Tirtha. I shall narrate another astonishing legend about the Kamandalu. By remembering it, one can attain merits. A trader named Dharmanayaka lived in the state of Gurjar. He would observe his religion with reverence and devotion. He had listened to the marvelous glory of Kamandalu Tirtha during a course on the Skanda Purana. He was astonished. He thought, this river is divine. I'll be blessed if I conduct its yatra. He contemplated upon the great river daily with devotion. Thereafter, a wicked Kshatriya traveller had visited him. The traveller too mentioned the Bramhakamandalu. The next day, the traveller woke up early and went on his way. After considerable time, Dharmanayaka died. He ascended to Swargaloka and indulged in the pleasures in the Loka. When his days in Swarga was exhausted, he was reborn on earth as a Brahmin named Shivadatta in the lineage of Atri Rishi. He would perform his duties religiously. He would never leave the banks of the Tirtha. He would perform all his rituals with its waters. Due to merits earned in his previous birth, he became a yogi who lived on the banks of the river. He died on the banks of the river. After death, he was absorbed into the supreme Brahma. O Devas, by merely remembering the Tirtha Kshetra, one attains ascent to the highest. There was a wicked Kshatriya traveller who was a sinner and had only heard the name of the Sarva Tirtha. When he died, he was battered and taken to Yama. Obeying the commands of Yama, he was thrown into hell. After completing his destined stay at Yamaloka, in the following birth he was reborn as a dog. The dog would wander in the Dandakaranya around the Sarvatirtha. He was afflicted with fleas and flies. He would be attracted to his wounds. Due to the merits earned in his previous lives, he bathed in the great river. When he died due to the merits earned by bathing in the Sarvatirtha, he attained liberation. There was not the slightest doubt about it. He had heard the name of the Tirtha only once, yet he earned merits. Such is the influence of Punya. It is better to live as trees or creepers on the banks of Bramhakamandalu than to live as a royalty elsewhere. A lowly person who dies on the banks of the river attains ascent through the Shuklagati and divinity. But a king who dies elsewhere remains trapped in the cycle of birth and death. O Devas, in this manner, the eastward flowing Bramhakamandalu river, which is immersed in the devotion of Mayuresh, bestows auspiciousness. Brahma, Madhyameshwara and Rishikesha all reside in the river, and hence the Kamandalu river is difficult to attain even for Devas. There are 1 Koti Tirthas at its source. In its center are 1 Koti Tirthas, and towards the end are another Koti Tirthas. Between these 3 divisions are half a Koti Tirthas. Thus in all there are 3.5 Koti Tirthas along both its banks. O Devas, I have told you about the magnificent glory of Bramhakamandalu. By reading or listening to its glory, one will be absolved of all sins. Thus ends the 25th chapter titled Bramhakamandalu Tirtha in the 6th Khanda of the Purana Upanishad, Srimad Mudgal Puran, describing the legends of Vikata, dedicated to Sri Gajanana. End of chapter 25.